Michigan football just got a wave of great news and a major confidence boost heading into this game against Northwestern. Let's talk about it. My name is Paul. Together with my buddy Aaron, we are the Big Ten guys, talking Big Ten football and basketball every single day. So if you're a Michigan fan or a fan of any Big Ten team, don't miss out. Just like and subscribe. And then also, before we get going, let me know, what are your predictions for this week's game? Northwestern at Wrigley Field. I'm a big-time Cubs fan and a big Michigan fan, so it's killing me that I'm not going to be there this weekend. Tickets are a little expensive for that game, but I'll for sure be watching it. You guys let me know what you think, matchups you like, what's going to happen. We always enjoy talking with you guys in the comments. But so some great news has come out of Michigan following the bye week. There's several different pieces of good news, as well as a vote of confidence from an unlikely source that you might not expect. So stick around for that, and I'll also tell you why I really think Michigan still has a chance to make a run at the playoffs. So first things first, Sharon Moore says Michigan's energy, urgency, and confidence are surging post-bye week. And I know a lot of times it's easy to be like, okay, every coach is going to say that, whatever, not a big deal. But some teams really need that bye week. And if you look at this Michigan football team, the 2 weeks before the bye, it was some ugly football against Michigan State and Purdue. But that's in the past now. They survived in advance. And if you look at last year's Michigan team, let me pull up their schedule real quick. Their schedule weirdly kind of broke down similarly to how it did this year. So they struggled a lot heading into their second bye week. Like, following this Indiana game, their highest point total of the season was 30 against Fresno State. And then they get their bye week in November, heading into Northwestern, if that sounds familiar. And they come out and they drop a 50-piece on Northwestern. Then they come out and they beat Ohio State, the eventual national champions, in Columbus, and then beat Alabama to finish the year. So if you are telling me, like, not to look too much into what a bye week can do for a team late in the season, I will point to last year and tell you the bye week did exactly what it needed to do last year. And I think just hearing that, like, this team is confident, it's energized, it understands, like, we can't lose again. Like, this is Michigan football. We're not playing for the Cheez-It Bowl. We're not playing for the ReliaQuest Bowl against Bama like last year. We are playing for the playoffs, and we can't lose again if we're going to get there. And a big piece of news that I think will impact that is that Marlon Klein finally says he's back to 100%. And he's played a little bit this year, but he just has not looked the same since week one. Like, that week one game was, except for maybe Central, but some of that might have been the opponent, that was one of the best offensive performances we've seen from Bryce Underwood, at least. We've seen some good ones from the running backs, but that was one of the better ones from Underwood, and it was his very first game. And I think a big part of that is having that reliable tight end target in Marlon Klein was big time. And then you've seen in recent weeks, Zach Marshall has really started to emerge. I don't know if Hogan Hansen is ever going to be 100%, but just having both Zach Marshall and Marlon Klein back at 100% is big time. Because if you can have two tight ends on the field at the same time, it really opens up your offense. Because then, like, you come out in a two tight end set and you can have them as blockers and run the ball behind a 7-man front, or you can hit the play action, have Marlon Klein go up the seam, you know, have Zach Marshall go out in the flat, and then have Marsh and Donovan McCulley go out, and it can be a very effective pass play against a defense that's probably expecting the run, but the offense is coming out with 4 very good receivers. Like, make no mistake, Marlon Klein and Zach Marshall are very good receivers. They're good at catching the ball. And so they are a weapon in both the passing game and the running game. So having Marlon Klein finally at 100%. I know he's played, but he has not been 100%. I hope we get back to some of that offense we saw week one where he went for, I think it was like 90 yards and a touchdown. And then I still feel like, I mean, we won't be 100%. We're not going to have Justice Haynes. But I still feel like we really haven't seen this complete offense yet. Like, first game, you had Marlon Klein in there, but Andrew Marsh really wasn't playing yet. Now, Andrew Marsh, I would say, is probably the most dynamic receiver on this offense. So he's a full go. And now you have Marlon Klein. It stinks not to have Justice Haynes, but Jordan Marshall has really picked up his play lately. So I think there's a very good chance that we see Michigan come out and perform better offensively than we've seen. And then it's not just me saying this. Kirk Herbstreit actually was recently talking about, it seems like Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon are probably all locks for the playoffs, but he says don't sleep on Michigan and USC, and then goes out and says out of those two teams, the two lost teams, I actually think Michigan has the best chance to be the fourth playoff team out of the Big Ten, and specifically because they still have that big-time marquee matchup against Ohio State, which they won last year. Like, I know Ohio State looks like a juggernaut right now. They've been destroying everybody. But I think this Michigan team is better than last year's Michigan team. I think this Ohio State team might be... Their defense is probably better. I don't know that their offense, when push comes to shove, is as dynamic as last year's. So being in Ann Arbor this year, you absolutely cannot count out the possibility that Michigan wins a fifth straight. But it starts this week at Wrigley Field against Northwestern. It's tough, 2 road games in a row. Road games are always tough in the Big Ten. It wouldn't surprise me to see Wrigley Field be more maize than purple. I know a few Michigan fans going to the game. I wish I was going as a Michigan and Cubs fan, but tickets are a little crazy there with only 40,000 seats. But it would not surprise me at all to see that feel more like a home game for Michigan. I think there's a lot of Michigan fans who are excited for the chance to go to a historic baseball stadium and see a game there. And then Maryland, you can't sleep on that game. They're a weird team because at the beginning of the year, I really think they were a very good team. Like, started undefeated, barely lost to Washington, like big time fourth quarter comeback by Washington saved them, and then almost beat Nebraska as well. But all of a sudden, it seems like the wheels are kind of falling off there. They got murdered by Indiana. They got beat pretty easily by Rutgers last week, and I don't think they're as much of a team to fear as I kind of was thinking at the beginning of the year. So there's a very good chance Michigan is 9-2 heading into Ann Arbor to play Ohio, and I think they got a good chance to win it. We just got to hope, same as last year, they come out from that November bye week energized, healthier than they've been in a while, and really playing with confidence and urgency, and putting Bryce in a position where he can get in rhythm, and he can, putting him in positive situations, third and shorts, mix in some play action, just set him up well for success. I think they've really struggled to do that this year, so hopefully having that extra week to tweak some things on offense will do that. But you guys let me know what you think, and then don't forget, just take a quick second, like and subscribe. Does us a huge solid, and you don't want to miss out on all the great Michigan content we're going to finish this regular season with.